Hey, if you're standing in your garage right now trying to decide whether this Spectra Precision LL500 kit is the right laser level for your next project, or if you're about to drop cash on something that'll just sit in the closet, let me save you some time. I've looked at how people actually use these tools, where they get stuck, and what ends up being worth the money. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. This isn't one of those set it and forget it gadgets. If you're hanging drywall, running baseboard trim, or setting up a drop ceiling, you need a laser that stays locked on target even when you're not in the room. The LL500 does that with a self-leveling mechanism that shuts off automatically if it gets bumped. That's huge when you're working alone and don't want to keep re-leveling every 5 minutes. But here's the catch, it only works on relatively flat surfaces. If your floor is uneven or you're working outside on rough ground, you'll still need to adjust manually or use a tripod. That's not a flaw in the laser, it's just reality. Know your workspace before you buy. The included LL500 receiver is where this kit earns its keep. You can mount it on a measuring rod or hold it in your hand, and it gives you a clear digital readout when the laser line is centered. That's especially useful in bright sunlight or across a long garage where the laser dot might be hard to see. I've seen guys try to save money by buying just the laser and skipping the receiver, only to realize they're squinting at a faint red line from 30 feet away. The receiver turns guesswork into precision, and it's right there in the box. Accuracy is listed at 1/16 inch per 100 feet, which sounds impressive until you realize temperature changes can throw it off. The manual mentions temperature compensation, but it doesn't autocorrect like a high-end rotary laser would. So if you're working in a space that heats up fast like a sun-baked workshop, you might need to let the unit sit for a few minutes before trusting your layout. That's a small trade-off for the price, but it's worth planning around. If you're doing fine finish work where every 16th matters, you might want to step up to a more stable model. But for framing, decking, or tile layout, this is more than enough. Range is another area where this tool shines. At 1,650 feet in diameter, you can cover a huge area without moving the laser. That's great for large rooms or outdoor projects, but don't expect the dot to stay visible in direct sunlight without the receiver. The beam is bright, but it's not a floodlight. If you're working in bright conditions, the LL500 becomes essential. Without it, you're basically guessing again. Now, who should buy this? If you're a DIYer tackling a kitchen remodel, building a shed, or installing wainscoting, this kit gives you professional-grade accuracy without the pro price. It's also a solid choice if you already own a laser but want a backup or a second unit for a different part of the job. The carry case and alkaline batteries mean you can toss it in the truck and not worry about charging or losing parts. Who should skip it? If you're doing ultra-precise finish work like cabinetry or tile with tight tolerances, you'll want something with better temperature stability and finer calibration. Also, if you're working outdoors on uneven terrain, the self-leveling feature won't save you from constant manual adjustments. In those cases, a rotary laser with a tripod setup would be a better fit. The rod clamp and case are nice touches, but they're not game changers. The clamp is sturdy, but it's not as smooth as higher-end models, so if you're constantly adjusting height, you might get frustrated. The case is functional, but don't expect it to survive a drop. It's more about keeping screws and batteries together than protecting the tool from impact. So, is this the right laser level for you? If you need reliability, decent accuracy, and a receiver that actually works in real-world conditions, this kit delivers. It's not perfect, but it's honest about its limits. And at this price point, it's hard to find a better balance of performance and value. If you're still on the fence, check out the link in the description and see if the specs match your project. If they do, you'll probably be happy you pulled the trigger. If not, at least you'll know before the money's gone. Either way, I hope this saves you some frustration down the road.